Aquarius. Oh my gosh. What is going on? What's happening in here? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting excited. Okay, because the second I see the lovers, the Hierophant too, in the meet, something's up. And then the King and Queen of Cups. What's up? What's up? What's up? Alright, so in the underlying energy, you have the Three of Pentacles. So, what does that say? That says to me that there is some planning for the future, or at least looking at what the future has to offer, if there is a future at all in this relationship, okay? You have the Devil coming up underneath here, so there was a situation in which you may have felt trapped. There was a toxic situation, but I feel like this relationship does, I feel like there was a, the illusion of bondage, excuse me, because you know how the lovers and the Devil are two sides of the same coin. So it's interesting that the lovers comes up. Maybe this in the past there was a karmic connection between you and this individual, or a situation or a connection with an individual that you felt deemed unhealthy because you couldn't sprout your wings, you couldn't be who you are, you couldn't be the Uranus ruled sign that you could be, and then boom. Alright, now you're going back to thinking about the future, potentially with them. Now this could be about future in regards to relationships in general, just based off of your experience. But I do get this feeling that it has a lot to do with the person that was in that relationship, because we have the lovers in this reading. Now, the current state of being, you have the Hierophant. Let's talk about commitment. That's talking about, routines, traditions, etc. There could have been an age difference, right? There could have been a different age difference. Now, I'm not getting a whole lot of signs here that says age difference, but what I do get with this is that there was probably some traditional things that were compromised, perhaps, or there is some regaining of some sort of routine, or breaking of the routine. You guys don't do this kind of energy, though. The Hierophant is not, when it comes to conforming, that's not what you guys do. Okay. So when I see this, I mean, as far as this goes, I do get this feeling that there is this, because I see the Five of Wands next to the Hierophant, I'm thinking there is some sort of disintegrating of the norm. Okay, they're trying to break the norm here. Like, you're trying to break the norm right now, or you're not in this, the typical phase right now. For some of you guys, this could be that in this relationship you're going a traditional route, and it may not be exactly what you're looking for because death is coming up here. But what you guys want is victory through your efforts. You guys have the Six of Wands coming up. Okay. Six of Wands. You want victory. You want happiness. You want to get to the place where you've been wanting to get to forever. Okay. It's not a bad card, alright? And I feel like you just want to see this, some sort of sign that you're in the right direction. Because, that's what they get. They get prideful here. There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of happy, success, celebration. You want to celebrate where you are, okay? And I feel like you just want to see the efforts, the work, you want to see your efforts come up, all right? But the thing that's keeping you from being successful right now in your relationships is death. There's something that has to be released here. Something that has to be let go of, okay? Something that has to be put to rest. For there to be a phase of rebirth, rather, because I feel like the relationship, the reason why it's like that is because there's a Queen of Cups. This Queen of Cups energy is talking about being in love, someone that is in love, someone that is very intuitive in this sense as well. But this is someone that has a very deep connection, because of the King of Cups being present in this reading. There's a deep emotional connection with this individual, and I feel like this person. There's some past pains and disappointments with this individual here that you must that has to be let go of. But it's hard to release this. This perfect individual, this person who you identify as the perfect partner. Well, death is coming up for her, for this. It's the heart of the reading. Who's your ideal partner? It may have to change who your ideal individual could be in order for there to be success in your relationship. That also couldn't even talk about you, Aquarius. Maybe you feel like you have to be the most absolute perfect, ideal person, which I don't think so, right? But just throwing it out there for those of you that are, that may be thinking this way. You have to release those kind of thoughts, processes, those things, those ways of being. That's the same thing with the Devil coming up with the Three of Pentacles. You have to release some sort of idea in order for things to be, to bring in something new, in order for new life to begin. Okay, so What is your situation looking like? How can you handle it? This Five of Wands. There's some conflicts. But I'm thinking inner turmoil because of death, right? Inner turmoil, right? This is resistance of change when it comes up in this position. There's not a lot of, you're not really wanting to change. It's going to happen anyway, this death card, this death energy. You could be dealing with a Scorpio because you got dual Scorpio energy here. But, we're going to put that aside for a second. Death is coming up here. This is resistance to change. Resistance of what you believe is the perfect partner for you, or perfect partner to be within a relationship, or or a spiritual connection that you may have with another individual. Or maybe there is something that needs to be, maybe there's some sort of tainted sort of thread within this relationship that needs to be healed and needs to be released for things to really begin to turn into the lovers. Because the devil was underneath here, right? The devil. With the Three of Pentacles. And in order for you to be able to see the future, there has to be forgiveness, there has to be love given, not just towards the person, but for yourself through that, whatever difficult time you've been through with this individual. It kind of opened the door again, because whatever is keeping your heart closed, because I feel like you're the Queen of Cups right now. I know this would be you right here. You hope to be the King of Cups. I think this is you right here, and I know I always read kings as the suits, as what they say they are. Right? This is technically Scorpio, but this could be Capricorn and Pisces, also Cancer or Pisces. But this could be you because it's a fixed sign. Kings are fixed signs. But I feel like this is you because you're the only person that knows what's in this cup. The Queen of Cups would be you to me, because you know everything. All right, Aquarius, you know everything. And therefore, you know what you feel, you know what you want, you know what's in this cup. Nobody else knows what's in this cup. They could ask, they could try, but they don't. You know what's in this cup, though. Intuitively, you know what's in this cup. You know what needs to, what potentially may need to be released. You know what you may have, what death is knocking on the door of, okay? But you have this, you have what's in your cup here, and you know what's there, but it's just this resistance to this. And that's probably why the Five of Wands is coming up. There's a bit of resistance, right? There's a little bit of, of combat, of competition. I don't think there's competition, but I feel like this inner turmoil, this is change initially, right? It's intense when it happens in the initial start of everything, but it changes things. So I do feel like right now, Aquarius, you know how you feel, you know what's going on, but it's like, it's deep. It's deep, and it's hard. Whatever death is trying to get you to release, it has a lot to do with the connection that you have with somebody, and especially one that may have been seen as unhealthy, when in actuality there may have been misunderstandings or what have you. Right? There's some things that may need to be released about how you feel about a connection, or how you feel about a particular person, or how you feel about relationships in general, because of the commitment issue. Right? I don't think you have commitment issues. Actually, matter of fact, I think you just don't want to be conformed. That's the whole thing, right? You don't want to be strapped down. You don't want to be held down. You don't want to be kept from doing whatever you feel you want to do. Okay? As much as people want to say that you guys are open-minded, you guys have very conservative beliefs, right? You guys are very conservative in some of the ways that you guys are. Yep, ran you all out. But here's the thing. It's okay to want to be owned, not to be owned, but to be wanted to belong to someone. But the thing is, you don't want to be completely like Taurus, right? You don't want to have that Taurus. You have your fourth house is Taurus, right? So of course, when it comes to friends, family, your safe space, you want to feel like you belong. You want to feel like you belong to someone. But at the same time, right? Your seventh house is what? Leo. You want that freedom. You want to be who you are. You want to be that individual. So it makes sense, right? When it comes to those two dynamics, you have to you want to have this connection with this individual, but you don't want to be bound by something that's potentially like psychic, or something that's emotionally deep, right? You don't want to be bound by anything. You don't want to be conformed to anything. And that's the thing. When you fall in love hard, right? Because it's hard for people to see you for who you are. You're very unique in how you are and how you present yourself. So when it comes to interacting with people and interacting with other folks, yes, dealing with other people is very difficult for you guys, because it's not like they see you for who you are. So when I see this energy, yeah, it's something in regards to being able to be emotionally open like that again with someone new. Especially when there has been some things that in the past that may have been not have been healthy with that devil coming up. So seeing a future with someone else is hard to do, one. and then seeing if you guys have been with someone else and it didn't work out. But then it's also very hard for you to be emotionally vulnerable like this again, because you have the Five of Wands here, and then you have the Six of Wands. You want to be emotionally open. You want to be taken care of. You want to be loved. You want to feel that Cancerous energy. We're in Cancer season, definitely. But at the same time, you don't want to be that vulnerable again. That's why Death is coming up, saying you have to release. You have to release. And that's why the inner turmoil is coming up. Whatever inner turmoil, whatever thing is keeping you from being emotionally vulnerable, that is potentially what, you know, that's the gateway to being able to manifest your, you know, manifest the love that you're looking for them to see you for absolutely who you are. Because the only person that can see the King of Cups is the Queen, because she knows everything. She knows everything. They're connected. They're a suit. They, you know, they wouldn't be married to each other if they didn't know. If they didn't know each other. They're both romantic. They can technically be very delusional, but you guys are not very delusional. You guys are very logical. Okay. Now, what your guys' hearts, heart is saying, technically it is, right? Your feelings. You have the Three of Cups. So you guys are being surrounded by people that are, you know, at least supportive, very, you know, that are around you right now that, you know, they're in your social circle, friends, family, you know, like I said. This could also be that you know, are, how you feel. This could be about connecting with others. Right, you could be feeling, you could be feeling the connection of others right now. I'm gonna look into that a little bit more in regards to this, but I'm not quite sure how this translates to everything else, because there's a lot of, you want this, but there's a struggle here. But then you're feeling like you have a lot of friends around you. That is true. You do have a lot of friends around you. You do have a lot of people that admire you. These are, audiences, not necessarily audiences, but these are people. Right? Other than you, this is people that are supportive of you. There's conflict probably within the way you connect with people, because of just what your advice is and how you're feeling. The connection, you may have the desire to connect with individuals. You may have the desire to be with, one with someone, or just to have fun, to connect with individuals. You want to be within a community. This could also talk about community, but you have the Five of Wands here. So these two could be that you're having issues with connecting with individuals. You're connecting with people right now, or that you just feel like you're not seen. Because the Queen of Cups is so private, and so is the King of Cups, right? They don't tell everybody how they feel. And it's not like you're not telling anybody how you feel, because you guys you're automatically the King of Swords, or, Queen of Swords. This is also talking, it's just like it's hard to communicate. Sometimes emotions are very hard to explain sometimes. And I feel like with this energy here, there may be that there's a lot of stuff going on, but as far as the connecting with people, it's a little bit of conflict with that. But your hopes and fears is the King of Cups, so you want to be back. I feel like you want to reconnect with this King of Cups. That's why the Three of Cups is coming to your feelings. There's a desire to reconnect with somebody that you have a connection with. These two have a deep connection, and these two, in my opinion, would make up the lovers, because look at this. Okay, I mean, practically you got the lovers going on here anyway, right? You got the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and then you have the Three of Cups here, which is technically three people in a card right here, but technically three people and an angel. All right, angels are not people. Okay, so I mean, I don't really see this as a third party card. I don't like seeing it as a third party card, because I mean, technically, an angel is not a third party, and I feel like let's be honest, if this was a third-party relationship, why would that person bless the two getting together? I feel like this angel up top is blessing those two, blessing those two's loves, those adventures together. This is a blessing. All right, it's like it's I believe it's Archangel Michael that's in here, or Archangel Gabriel. I can't remember which one, but I feel like the angel is blessing these two individuals. I can't see this as a third-party relationship. What I do see is that this is love in itself, right? Absolute love. This is the connection with somebody. The connection that is profound, right? That is just beyond explanation. And these two have a connection with each other that is beyond explanation. That's why they're the King and Queen of Cups. They're just so tight. They don't even need to communicate. They communicate with each other telepathically. That's how connected they are. And I feel like there is somebody around you, right? Maybe not somebody around you, but someone from a distance, right? Because the lovers indicates, the illusion of distance, right? This, technically there's distance here, but that doesn't mean that their love is any less, potent, because they're different. Potent, right? Their love for each other, their magnetic attraction for each other is still super intense. And the King of Cups is what? has intense emotions. The Queen of Cups is what? Very intense emotions. So wherever y'all are feeling, you got some intense energies going down. Death is a very intense energy. What? It's ruled by Scorpio. So for some of you guys, you're dealing with Jupiter is back direct. That's what that's telling me. And I don't see the Wheel of Fortune coming up in here yet. None of that. But there's a lot of intense stuff. So whatever Jupiter is pushing back direct, it's going over a lot of degrees. So whatever you guys have gone through throughout that time of Jupiter being retrograde, he's going back over that. So you're gonna feel intense connections with somebody from someone that you have a connection with, or someone that you believe that you have a connection with. Okay. Attraction. That's what was I just talking about? Magnetic attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Okay. Okay. And that's true, right? You just gotta love the moment as you. Sorry. I gotta move some sort of crazy thing that was coming up. But, yeah, you gotta enjoy the moment, right? And I feel like that's what some of you guys are doing, living day by day. Because the Hierophant and the Five of Wands, unless you guys are having conflict with your schedules or routines, yeah, that's out the window, alright? Alright? You don't conform, alright? You guys are Aquarius. You guys want to be serious and, like, business oriented, y'all can do that. That's the beauty of you, right? You guys can turn that stuff right on and off. But I don't feel like at this point this is what's happening, okay? Okay, but enjoying this moment fully could also be talking about, going through the process and going through every aspect of this phase that you guys are going through with death in your reading, seeing all the details, right? It's going to require you to live in every moment. Live in the moment very, very, very fully. Queen of Cups, she feels everything. She goes through everything. She doesn't think about the future. She just feels what's in the now. She can't predict the future because she feels in the now. So, it makes sense. I'm sorry. I don't know. I keep thinking that you're the Queen of Cups. You guys are the King of Cups. But I'm sorry. But I don't think you guys... I think you guys want to be loved, but you also want some sort of deep... You want to feel something for someone. Observer is your card, Aquarius. Amazing. So it's about being receptive, all right? Looking at the situation, all right? Being very open to the situation, okay? It's also talking about observing, right? Because you're not, like, literally watching people. Kind of being very eagle-like, just watching folks, And it's watching to gain some sort of insight, some intuition. Right now, you just have to pay attention to your environment. Alright, because Capricorn's got a message in the bottle, and I know I brought that out. I know. I'm probably tired of me bringing up Capricorns in your reading, but they got a message in the bottle, and I was just talking about, whatever signs make sense to you, whatever synchronicities, right, based off of what you're doing, that's a sign for you to continue to do whatever you're doing, or however you take the message. The Observer, for you guys, is very interesting. It talks about, watching other people's behaviors and then doing something, right? Or, making plans to make something happen. It's the same thing with the Three of Pentacles. Watching a situation go down and making a decision based off of what you've seen, okay?